All right, so let's get started. Thank you all for joining us today for this edition of What I Crush. The person I have with me today needs no introduction, and yet I'll introduce her anyway. This is Jennie Wolek of the Wolek Group in Tulsa, Oklahoma, who also happens to be one of my very, very, very favorite people. And when I reached out to Jennie, I asked her, what do we cover, Jennie? Because you crush so many things. I mean, the list is so long. I was running out of fingers, right, to count them on. And Jennie and I even had the good fortune last week to do a live coaching call at Family Reunion that we are going to get the recording of and share with our peeps. But Jennie, for those very, very few people on this call who don't know you, why don't you go ahead and take a minute to introduce yourself?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see your faces. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I am so blessed that I get to coach with Jordan Freed, and we did get a call last week when most Mastery clients did not. And then I get him today and Wednesday. It's just Jordan Freed all the time, and that makes my heart happy. So I'm so blessed to be here. I am in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've been in real estate 20 years. 20 years. That's a lot. And I've learned a lot. And honestly, Jordan, over the years, because we talk all the time, that I've really got to discover over the past, 5+ years, that I really love sharing and empowering and giving back all my agent friends, because it took me so dang long to get to where I am today, which isn't even still crushing it, really, if you look at all of the amazing production that we have of agents at our company and in the real estate industry. And yet I'm, just doing what I do and having a pretty counterbalanced life, I guess we could say, by having an awesome team here in Tulsa. Last year, we got to help 173 families. And half of those come directly from our local database, repeat and referral past clients, which you guys know is the best kind of business to have. And then 30% of that production last year came from agent referrals. So I value and appreciate all of my agent referral friends like you guys. What the numbers look like, Jordan, was off of the production from last year, we got to help 46 referred clients close, buyers or sellers. And that ended up being, for us in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the middle of America, we brought in about 350 of gross commission income from agent referrals. So that is why, if you don't have this as a part of your business plan now, you can maybe take some tips from today and put those into action so that you could add this leg to your business as well. So there you go.
Yeah. So 46 transactions, $350,000 in gross commission income. And that was just in 2020 from your agent to agent referrals. Okay. Got it. So Jennie, you mentioned that you started really kind of focusing on this 5 years ago. And why is it that you focus so heavily on agent to agent referrals? Why that source of leads?
Okay, so I am going to take a step back in time, because this all has to do with how I got here today with agent relationships. Is I got into real estate in 2001 in Norman, Oklahoma. So after I'd graduated from school, I lived in the cool college town. Jordan, you're in a college town, the vibe is amazing, and it's a pretty small knit group. And I got into real estate, and so you're friends with everyone in all the brokerages. You don't just stick with your team, your sign color. And so I got in the business, and then around 2004 I realized that it was time to get back home to Tulsa. All my family's here, I'm from here. And I knew that that was a period when I needed to get back home. So luckily, I'd gotten in real estate as a younger person and single, and had bought 2 properties. I put signs in the yard of my rent house and my primary residence. So I immediately saw the value of real estate, because I was able to take that 30 grand, come back home to Tulsa, start my real estate business all over again, where I hadn't been in touch with people here for 14 years, and I had to reestablish my business. So it's starting from scratch. But what I did know is that Tulsa and Norman, Oklahoma City area are just about an hour and a half apart from each other. And it's very transient between Tulsa and Oklahoma City, Norman. So I had this group of realtors just a short distance away. So I didn't know where else to start. They became my database. And those are the days when I was in real estate in the early days, y'all, we barely used email. And we definitely didn't have any social media. And so I did this thing where I wrote a letter and I printed it out and I signed it. And the letter simply stated, "Hey, it's Jennie. I've moved to Tulsa. I'd love to be your referral partner if you ever hear of anybody." Well, it worked because I started getting referrals from my Norman agent friends. And so that was like, well, I'm okay with just having a buyer or seller given to me, already a warm lead, already going to trust in me because they were referred by their favorite realtor. And so that was my aha to this. So that's how I got into this, the business of agent referrals. And then another big stepping stone for me into this arena was in 2014 and 15. If you know me, I tell the story about my breakdown. Well, what happened was I'd had year after year success and growth, and I wasn't learning and growing in my leadership skills or my hiring and my leveraging skills as fast as the production was coming. So I got to a place where I was in burnout and I kind of hated people. And we're not a business that you should hate people, because you need them to help you achieve your real estate goals. And then also we kind of need to like people because it's just important anyway. So I had some mix up on the team. I got back into production with two admin, me and two admin. I was full on back in the business. And I knew that one thing that was really beneficial for me in my growth, and the reason I'd had all the growth, was taking this class called Bold. And so the time that it was the beginning of March 2015, and our numbers were already way off. I knew that there was no way we were going to achieve our goals for the year. And I said, what can I do that's really dramatic and get me out of my comfort zone? And so Bold was not being offered in my local market. However, it was offered in Oklahoma City, so an hour and a half away from me. So I signed up for that Bold. If you ever got to ever take a Bold outside of your own market back in the old days, you know that there's so much value in being the only agent that is nearby yet far enough away that all of a sudden I had 100 new realtor referral partners. Well, I love that feeling. I love the results. So I went back again. So in 2015, I took Bold in Oklahoma City 3 times. And so that has a lot to do with how I grew my agent-to-agent network. And if you think about it, that's very strategic, because those people are near me and the likelihood they know somebody also increased, right? And so then the next year I was like, well, that was fun. So I went to Joplin, Missouri. I went to Little Rock. What's Fayetteville? And so I got to do it there as well. So each time I took Bold outside of my market, I also got more purposeful. So I then said, okay, I can run potty real quick on breaks, but then I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk to people and I'm going to meet them. I'm going to trade cards. They're going to go into my database. So I would say that those were really the defining moments in all of that. And then lastly, Jordan, in 2016, I had this terrible snafu. You guys, agents, you know how terrible it is for something to happen. What happened to me was that I use a company called Viral Marketing, and they send out 2 videos a month to my local database talking about the Tulsa market and Tulsa real estate. Well, if you guys have ever gotten an email from an agent that's not in your market talking about their own market, it's super annoying, right? So I'm the unsubscribe girl. If it doesn't add any value to me, then I don't want it. But what happened was, by mistake, an admin had uploaded the wrong list and sent all of my out-of-town agent lists my local Tulsa marketing. And I was like sweating and thought I was going to vomit, and it was terrible. And then the next big Keller Williams event came around and we saw each other in person, and people started coming up to me and they were like, I know you, you're Jennie and you're in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And they were rattling off from me my intro of what I share whenever I do videos. And I was like, wait a minute, they liked it because they could use whatever I was telling my local market in their own business. And so I got back to town. I call up my viral rep and I say, could I do one of these just for agents so that I can share with them things we're doing in our business or systems or tools or tips or anything? And they said, of course you can, right? So in 2016 is when Your Journey with Jennie was originally launched as a Facebook page. And over time, it's grown to be a closed group. And honestly, the whole mission behind that is for me to share all the things I've learned over these 20 years with all my realtor friends. So those are the stories. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. And you know what I love about this, Jennie, is I talk to you all the time. And every time I talk to you, I still end up with a page of notes. Like, this is so good. I love that.
Yay.
So, it sounds like, for those of you listening, I just want to recap what she just said, right? So number one is she kind of defined a market outside of her market, right? It started in Oklahoma City. And so you're looking for the areas that people are moving in and out of, right? In Tulsa, you also looked at Fayetteville, Joplin, which these are not big places. And yet there are people that move to and from. I imagine Dallas is probably another area that you really focus on. So you kind of put Tulsa in the center, and then you attended classes, and Bold is a great class to attend. And I'm certain there are other classes that agents could attend in those markets. So I love that, Jennie. And then, okay, so if I am an agent and I'm just starting out, right? I haven't been in the business for 20 years, right? What are the 3 things that you would have me chunk down and focus on if agent to agent referrals was really something that I intended to focus on as part of my strategy?
All right. So all things, if you're with Keller Williams, you know that Gary Keller starts all of his books with overcoming the myths or having the right mindset around it. So first off, you just got to acknowledge or decide if it's something you want to implement, because like all things, you have to go from E to P in it. You have to, whatever you're doing right now is your natural self, right? You guys have something you're doing. Could it be more purposeful? And that's where we go from here to really plus and maximize your opportunity. So for me, Jordan, I thought about this, and it can't be 3 things, because guess what it all has to do with? The 4 laws of lead generation. You build a database.
Yep.
You build a database, guys. So who is in your database? Strategic. Jordan nailed it. Be strategic. Now we're not traveling around so much, but where are the cities to and from, moving to and from? So there's the great website where How Money Walks, I believe you said U-Haul website also shows what are really transient cities and states for you guys. So know who you would like to attract into your world. And then the feeding it is obviously law number 2, which is how are you going to continue to grow it? So for me, all of these agents, all of you guys, if you're in my world and you get some video emails from me, that means that you're in my database and you're tagged as out-of-town realtor. So that very easy, I can pull you and put you where I want, or I can market to you specifically. And then number 3 is communicate systematically, right? So we have a system. Everything in our business has a system and a checklist. So just like you have your 36 touch for your local database, you're going to have, it doesn't need to be 36 touches. Could it be 12 or 15, whatever your number is, have something that you're going to do to touch and stay in contact with your agent database. So there's your communication. And then service all the leads that come your way is really, now you've got the referral. What systems do you have in place to make sure you don't drop the ball on the referral? Because that is the worst. I've done it. You guys have done it. We're busy. You may just have gotten that. See, nowadays we have all these ways to gather data. So sometimes it's a Facebook message, sometimes it's a text, sometimes it's an email, sometimes it's through Kelly. And so you have all of these referral places to keep up with. And so do you have a hack for that? I mean, I discovered mine. I snap a picture of it and I email it to myself and copy my admin so that it makes sure to get into the database with instantly. a auto reminder so I can't forget, even if it gets, lost in cyberland, it comes back to me because it's all housed inside of our database. The other thing about servicing the leads, Jordan, is, we currently use Brivity, and I know that smart plans are also in command, and you could set a reminder so that whenever you're working with that, and it could be set up this way for sure, but when you have a referred client under contract, are you staying in touch with the referring agent? I just had a call today because one of the checklists and systems is that after closing, I'm not working with so many buyers and sellers anymore. So I may not know the client, but I have a call reminder where I have a call reminder to call the referring agent and say thank you. So today I made one of those thank you calls. She said, thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I know that Cooper sure enjoyed working with you guys. It was great. And I loved how you kept me informed the whole time. I need to add that to my business. So all of these little things are going to help you stand out from the other agents out there. So for example, if you ever have the opportunity to have a referred client, when I'm talking on the phone in the front end of trying and doing my best to win over that agent to pick us, I say, hey, this is, we're so happy to help. And 30% of our business comes from agent referrals like you. So we have systems in place so that you're never going to have to call us and ask how the transaction is going. You're going to get an email on the day of closing saying, woohoo, thank you so much. Your referred client is closed and here's the DA and your check is on the way. You're going to get a thank you call. You're going to get, so all of these systems go in place with that. I get excited. I'm sorry.
I love it. I love it. Again, I think that that's such an important part to remember, that when you're dealing with agent to agent referrals, there are actually two clients. There's the client that is being referred, and then there is the client that referred the client, right? And sometimes I think we forget to communicate with client number one. So I love that. And you actually now, Jennie, have turned a lot of this. And, the thing I love so much about agent to agent referrals for you is that your heart and soul, and anybody that knows you, is truly in teaching, training, right? And your journey with Jennie. And now you've taken all of this and have created classes, and it allows you to follow your passion, and it also feeds your company, right?
Right. So when I started discovering that I truly, in my core, I love teaching and training and sharing and helping others in this business, it was a pretty easy sell to my team because they saw the benefit. Because if I said Jennie's going to be out of town because she's going to be traveling to teach a class, they got the benefit of working with the referred client. So they knew that me doing what I love still fed them. So me being gone was actually a win. And Jordan, you said it right. I think that what the struggle is for so many of us is that we haven't really nailed down why we're doing this business and what our true passion is. And I love real estate. I love it. And I also have decided I don't love being at the table and negotiating the deals anymore. And that's the cool part about this business and this industry, as you can find your thing and just rock it. You don't have to do, that was the thing. That's when our production got so much bigger, was because I got out of the way. I allowed the others on my team to go rock what they love, and I got to do my passion. So know what sets your soul on fire and go do more of that. And that's where we've grown with your journey with Jennie and creating classes, is because when I see like Jill's face is right there in the middle. There's Meg. It's like when I see all their faces, like I feel so connected and happy and joyful that I get to be in their lives. So
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. And now, agent to agent referrals is spun off almost into a completely different company, right?
yeah.
That's so awesome. Yeah. So Jennie, like you touched on it earlier, and some of the people in this call have already made this mistake, because I get these emails, I meet someone and then they put me on some spam thing about their listings in the area, and God, I hate that. I get a little, sorry, my soapbox is getting in here. What are some of the failures or other mistakes that you see people make in this source that we could lend your experience on to avoid?
Well, when I thought about my failures that I've learned from, because that's how you guys know that I grow is from failing, and that's where maybe some of you are on this, is that I didn't go faster or do it with purpose. So I was absolutely just floating in the being my natural self and not putting either leverage of some kind, whether it's a person or a tool or a system in place. So failure early on for me was not being purposeful. So again, if you're hearing this and you want no part in this, then just don't do it. But if you choose for this to be something you care about, then you also have to create a plan around it and you track it. So Jordan, now on my 411, as you know, every week I update it and I'm going in and I'm looking at how many people are in our out of town realtor database, how many people are in our Met database, how many people are in your journey with Jennie. Everything in our business is a number. And so I want to watch those numbers grow, except for my expenses. I want those to go down. Otherwise, we want our numbers to go up. And so also I would say, okay, I already told those stories. So I was going to go back to the knowing why you're doing this business, because I think that a lot of us aren't clear on who we are or what we want to be for our clients or for our family or for our future. And so we just get lost in the business and we just half-ass all the different methods that are out there. So for us, 50% from our sphere. So you know what our focus is, you know what our marketing plan looks like. 30% from agent referrals. It's very clear what we say yes and no to. When you get really clear on your purpose, whether it's as your business or your personal mission statement in life, you can say no to the other distractions. So for me, that's what it's about. It's staying clear on following your goals and your dreams for your life and your family.
Well, and I think the thing, Jennie, that you've done so well is that, when you look at the way you build the business, it's very much in your strength zone. It's out of your comfort zone, right? And yet, like anybody that knows me, I'm about as fun as watching wallpaper dry. That's why, when I built the business, it was cold calling. I'm not going to be the guy that kisses the baby and shakes your hand and loves on you, right? And I remember, like, if you called Jennie Wolek and said, "Hey, Jennie, I need you to make 20 cold calls today," it's not going to happen, right? And so, go ahead.
Like I failed through all of that. You guys, I'm going to have a confessional right here and now. In all of the 18 bolds that I took, I rarely called a for sale by owner or expired because it made me want to vomit. So I wanted to instead just get at my production and my numbers based on who I am. So that is also something very important. If you're listening to this feeling a little lost and confused, get clear on who you are, what matters to you. And I think that will really help.
Yeah, it's answering the question, this business only boils down to one thing, and it's developing relationships. And what is the best way for you to develop relationships? And then how do you take that, like what you've done, and build that into a system? So then a system is what allows scale, right?
Right. Okay. So you know, as my coach, that we started again just in my E, then we got more purposeful, and every year I'm growing in doing what I love. So life gets more fun when you're getting more dialed into. My calendar is time blocked. If you listen to the recent Think Like a CEO with Gary and Jay, he was talking about your morning is the focus, and then the afternoon can be loosey goosey if it needs to. I think too many agents time block too hardcore that they don't just have thinking and planning time. And so this is part of your planning time. How can you go from E to P with agent referrals?
Got it. Okay. I love that. So what have I not asked you, Jennie, about agent to agent referrals that by now I should have?
Okay. So I thought of something here. One of the surprise results that I got from creating a system for agent to agent referrals was that, as well as having an out of town realtor tag in my database that I market to, we also have an in town realtor tag. So what that means is if we've done a deal with you in the past, you're a current cooperating agent, you also get my 2 videos a month. You are probably on my page or in my group. So the local agents are also learning and growing and getting better, because everything I attempt to share is just to improve the whole profession as a whole. The better that we are, the more respected we are. And so isn't that a win for everyone? So the side effect ended up being that last year, a local agent at a boutique real estate company during COVID reached out to me because she wasn't getting any of the training or education that we were consistently sharing as a company. And she joined the team and she's crushing it already. So as long as you're doing agent targeted marketing, could you fold in your local agents in educating and training and connecting with them as well?
Yeah, and that's huge too, because I mean, that could be because somebody is looking to join your team, Jenny, but there's also the golden handoff opportunity, right? Somebody who's exiting the business and they find you as somebody who does well at communicating with your database and offering great service. And, you know, there's always people coming in and out of real estate, and most agents don't even know that there's a plan that you can use to hand your business off to somebody else that creates a win-win relationship, right? So there's also that opportunity.
And I'll also just share that I think what held me back early on was a fear that I didn't have anything of value to share. And what's so crazy cool is that we all do. We all have stories to tell and lessons that we've learned through this business. So you are valuable. And even if it's just even if you just want to start small and go live on Facebook once a week and share the little stories or the testimonials of the fun, amazing awesomeness of your business, or how cool this company is that we all have the same blueprint on how to be successful, and could you teach little snippets of these things? So you sharing anything will really add value, and it also adds value to your clients locally. I mean, I have so many local friends and business owners and clients that just they don't think the way we do here, and so we need to be sharing that with the world.
Yeah, I agree. I've said 90% of what we learn in Keller Williams could be translated to any business. A 36 touch, everything that you just said would work whether you are in real estate or own a yoga studio. I don't know why yoga studio is always the one I choose, but
I got my yoga today, so
good for you. All right, so Jenny, it's the bottom of the hour. What I Crush is short. If we want more information on you and what you're doing, where do we go? And tell us a little bit about what you're doing here in the next few months.
Okay, well, I've got on my Eventbrite, we can share that link, Jordan. I've got lots of upcoming classes. I do a 3-hour workshop called Mirror My Business. I see so many of the students that hang out with me that are here. And that's just 3 hours of I throw all kinds of systems and tools at you. And then if you would like to go a little bit further and get into implementation, we go for 6 weeks. And that is super fun as well. I think that people really get into action, which is the cool part. Lots of you guys take classes and then all that stuff just sits on the shelf or on your computer, but we get into action. And then lastly, Jordan, I have a surprise, but I see some students that I can't reveal my secret yet. So tomorrow after Implement My Business, I'll be launching another thing. So
cool. And
make sure you guys show up.
If you're not part of your journey with Jenny,
Oh,
go
yeah.
search that on Facebook and request to join, because man, everybody should be in that Facebook group. It's amazing. And so are you, Mrs. Wolek. And thank you for being here today. And as we always say, it's just a privilege being in business with you. Thank you for
back at you. You guys have an amazing day. Enjoy the sunshine if you've got it.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.